First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to First City Focus. I'm your host, Dave Foster, and on this episode, we'll meet leaders of a new organization working to reduce bullying and support those affected. We'll visit the final Vincennes Historic Farmers Market of the year, and the United Way's Great Bowls of Fire event raised funds as chili chefs competed for top honors, and we'll pay tribute to veterans in honor of Veterans Day this month. We have these stories and more right now on First City Focus. It's a situation that touches every school corridor, every playground, and every social media feed. Bullying is something most people experience in one way or another, and a new organization is on a mission to create safer communities by reducing bullying incidents and supporting those who've been affected. Allies Against Bullying launched in Vincennes this year, and today we're joined by the group's founders, Tina and Fred Bangerter, who talk about how it all began and what the organization's doing to make a difference, and we thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Dave.
So tell us what prompted the founding of Allies Against Bullying and what was the vision when you got started?
Well, my granddaughter's experience with bullying and her attempted suicides and my beliefs is what prompted it. I believe God laid this on my heart to help kids who are being bullied, and my vision is to help those who suffer at the hands of bullying so they don't have to suffer anymore.
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about what your granddaughter went through?
She was, most of hers was cyberbullying, and she was constantly getting negative comments from other people telling her, you know, you should do this, you should do that, and just not. She was not doing very well. She's not going to school there anymore.
Yeah. So how long ago was this? Was this fairly recent?
This was last year.
Okay. So you talked about cyberbullying. So how do you define bullying, I guess, in 2025?
Any form of harassment, in our opinion, that's negative and causes people pain is what we consider bullying. And because we've seen it in our own family, it holds a special place for us. So we've decided enough was not being done to help individuals who are being bullied.
So one of your goals is to prevent it, and what are some of the challenges that you face when you want to prevent something like that from happening?
Victims not speaking up is one. The other is there are no willing parties to address the problem. They seem to be a hush-hush topic, and no one wants to admit that bullying happens. No one wants to admit they're being bullied, and that makes it challenges for us. So our premise is to overcome this by talking with the students, the parents, and the schools, and see if we can't reach resolutions.
So when you come across, why do people not want to admit that they've been bullied?
They're shamed. They feel like no one will believe them, and they don't think they can get help anywhere.
Now I was taught, and I'm sure you guys were too, given our ages, that you stand up to a bully, they back down, or you fight back, they back down. And I think over the years we've kind of learned that's not quite always true.
Right.
So can you guys kind of speak to that a little bit?
Well, it's really sad, but nowadays cyberbullying is really prevalent, and it's hard to stand up to somebody when it's just words on a screen and it's going out to hundreds of people, or thousands of people. It's kind of hard to stand up to someone without making yourself look even worse. So most people tend to shy away from that, and they'll just scroll past. But the problem is still there because it gets into the psyche of the individual who is the target. And that plays a very heavy role in their emotional growth, their emotional development. and whether they can cope with a bully when they're face to face.
And that target, if they stand up, they could be called a bully too, can't they?
Yes, that's exactly right. As a matter of fact, that happens quite frequently. Someone is bullied, they retaliate, and they're the ones that get punished from the authorities, the schools, parents, whomever, because they were the one that was seen bullying, whereas the first incident may not have been noticed.
So in the act of being bullied, whether in person or online, how should the target react at first, do you think?
Online, primarily, scroll right on past it. It's not that important. But kids nowadays, they need the clicks, they need the recognition, they need the being brought out as, how do I put it, famous.
Okay.
They want recognition, they want notoriety. So it's kind of hard to just scroll past, but that's really the suggestion we make to especially teens. Just keep scrolling. There's going to be a good message in there somewhere. Look for it. Don't look for the bad message. I was bullied as a kid, bad, because I have a big mouth. I don't shut up. And I was blessed with a high intelligence, so I was very quick with the comeback. And it angered people. So I got bullied a lot, and I was physically bullied by the kids in school. And this is back in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
So it was going on. It's been going on for a long time. The problem is that nobody wants to talk about it. And all the canned messages of stop bullying, it's not going to happen. You're not going to stop bullying, but we can help those that have suffered at the hands of bullies. That's what our goal is.
And you talked about your granddaughter and attempted suicide, and on your website you've got a lot of names and faces of people who died by suicide. So how important is it for people to see that reality and what message do you hope that sends?
It's imperative that people realize how bad bullying is, because it can and it will affect their own children if they're not paying attention. I personally hope people wake up and realize this is what's going on. And we've already lost a couple of kids in our own community, and I don't want to see any more lost. Those kids on that poster, there are 34 kids that should still be alive today.
How do you recognize in your own kid or in any child or teenager if they're being bullied if they don't talk about it?
It's real simple. If there's a sudden behavioral change in your child, in your grandchild, in your niece or nephew, anybody that you recognize on a regular basis, if there's a sudden change in their behavior, either they become reclusive, very antisocial, or they can become violent, belligerent, even nasty. These radical changes in behaviors is a telltale sign that there is something going on, and your first objective should be to calm the child down, sit down and talk with the child, and build a rapport that you might not have because you're busy in your job, you're busy taking care of your family and doing what you have to do, that sometimes these children are not so much that they're ignored, is they're an afterthought because there's so many important things that are going on. Well, your child's behaviors and the changes in their behaviors is a telltale sign, it's a red flag. Stop and do something about it. It's imperative because your child could wind up with severe traumatic issues, PTSD and other psychoses that develop. You want to prevent that? You want to prevent future hurt for your child? You're going to need to step up and sit down with that child and have a talk with them. Don't be adversarial. Be friendly. Be their friend for a few moments. Be caring. Be loving. But understand what they're going through. and they will give you names of people who are bothering them. They will give you the names of, even if there's a teacher that, I mean, there are teachers that bully. I mean, it's not just children. There are people being bullied who are in relationships. There are husband and wife situations where the husband or the wife may bully the other to get their way. This is prolific throughout society, so it's not just children, but the children are what tugged at our heartstrings.
All right, so tell me about your organization, what it's doing to respond to these problems, and how you're working with the community.
Well, what we're trying to do is partner with several organizations in the area. There's one, Tina, why don't you go ahead and tell them about?
We're hoping to partner with a family health center pretty soon, and other organizations that have programs that we would like to implement with our programs that's going to help us to help other people. So we want to be able to guide victims to the right perspective to get the help that they need, the right services.
I know you had your launch earlier this year, so what's next for Allies Against Bullying?
We are going to do the parade. The Christmas parade's coming up in December 5th.
So you'll be in that, and so we'll look for you in that here in town. So
yeah, we're looking to have a nice float and some community involvement with the float. Looking to hand out candy canes to the kiddos, and we're going to be handing out the QR code on a slip of paper so that people can have it. And if they need to get in touch with us, they can do so on the website. We have the email. We have an email address. It's info@alliesagainstbullying.org. And there we will be able to receive messages, comments, questions, so forth, and answer them.
all right. Well, we thank you both for being here with us, Tina and Fred Bangerter from Allies Against Bullying, and we'll certainly look for you in the Christmas parade and keep track of what you're doing throughout the next year. So
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
So if you or someone you know is being affected by bullying, don't hesitate to reach out for help. Allies Against Bullying offers information, support, and resources for students, families, and schools, and you can find a link to their website and more details on how to get involved on vincennespbs.org. On a crisp October morning, the Vincennes Historic Farmers Market wrapped up another successful season. The Riverfront Pavilion was full not just with local vendors, but with the next generation of young entrepreneurs taking part in Kids Day. Veteran vendors were on hand as well, reflecting on the past growing season. And we'll take you now to visit the final Farmers Market of 2025.
Well, we've had a great season and great weather. Our vendors they go other places, and when they're gone, then we bring someone else in to replace them. And we keep it rotating in and out. Today, we have someone from Texas here selling clothing.
I'm Blanca Camacho. I'm from South Texas, Edinburgh, Texas. I sell like different items from different countries. I sell items from Mexico, Ecuador, Peru, and I'm working with the artisans.
I was here in 1978. The pavilion came in 2000. So
You've been coming to the farmers market ever since then, huh?
ever since 1978. This is my grandson. There's one son over there, and the other one went to get him a custard. I still believe that homegrown's the best, and that's why I'm still here.
So you come here every week, I know, pretty much.
Yes, every Wednesday, every Saturday from Memorial Day until the end of October.
And you've been coming here for several years, right?
Yes, so this is actually my 26th season. So this season has been a little bit different. So we had some crops that were really, really good this year, and then we had some crops because of the weather that we didn't quite get the yield that we anticipated. So it's been kind of back and forth with different things. Tomatoes have obviously been very good for the most part this year, though.
We've been selling here for 2 years. A little bit of everything. Some pickles, salsa, candied jalapeno, hot sauce, apple butter. We make everything ourselves, so try not to do any store-bought at all. What we can't produce, we get from local farmers, so everything's local.
I was born in a small town, and I live in a small town. Probably down in a small town. small community.
We've got a lot of kids here today.
Yeah, it's Kids Day, Kids Festival. The kids ages 6 to 12, we invite them to come in and they make their own things, and you can see what they're selling today. They're really good at it, and they like doing this.
I sell dog treats.
So what's in your dog treats?
So the big ones, they have chicken broth and applesauce. No, chicken broth and peanut butter.
What made you pick those ingredients?
Well, because a lot of dogs like chicken and peanut butter. And some like applesauce.
What are you selling here today?
Caramels, mini dirt pudding, and zucchini bread.
Did you make this?
Yes.
So what got you interested in making stuff like this?
My mom showed me on like 2 years ago, and then I was like, can I do that? Because I was old enough, and she said sure, so I did it.
Tell me what you're selling here today.
I sell jewelry, earrings, there's pumpkins, there's bracelets, there's ghost earrings, there's candy corns.
Yeah, and you make this?
Yes.
So what got you interested in making stuff like this?
My cousin.
Nothing against the big town. Take the seat and up to say, look who's in a big town. But my dad's in a small town, and that's good enough for me.
My name is Tiffany. I'm with the Knox County Community Learning Kitchen, and we are part of the Knox County Public Library. And we are going to be doing some experiments today. Mine's going to be a cooking experiment, and hers is going to be an explosion experiment. Both super awesome. So who knew that cooking was science?
Okay, ready? Matt, check this out. Here it goes! Okay, ready?
We have a full house today. We're excited. We're glad that it's over for the season, though. We've had a busy season.
The farmers market will return in 2026 on Saturdays and Wednesdays, starting Memorial Day weekend. The aroma of chili filled Patrick Henry Square as pots simmered and spoons stirred. The Great Bowls of Fire Chili Cook-Off brought together local chefs, families, and volunteers, all serving up flavor for a good cause and a little hometown pride.
A little drizzle and cool weather didn't stop the heat at Patrick Henry Square in downtown Vincennes, where the aroma of more than 20 pots of chili filled the air over Halloween weekend. The United Way of Knox County's Great Bowls of Fire Chili Cook-Off returned, bringing civic groups, churches, and community members together to raise money for the local programs that helps people in need.
You know, United Way is, again, I'll say it again, always about being united, uniting the community. You know, in some cases, I talk about this a lot, that we are either your first call or your last, right? And these individuals, these community leaders, they recognize that, and that's why they're out here today, supporting us.
This year's cook-off featured 22 booths, including local favorites and first-time competitors. The Vincennes Civitan Club and YMCA teamed up for a spicy entry they called the Best Doggone Chili. A well-known figure of the Vincennes community sported a special outfit for the occasion.
I was on the United Way board for many years, so it really touches every aspect of the community, and particularly now there's so many needs, and they're meeting those needs thanks to events like this and generous donors.
Each dollar raised counts towards the United Way's annual campaign, which supports dozens of local agencies and initiatives. One of those agencies was represented by a familiar face, though on this day, that face was hidden behind fur and a few convincing ape calls.
King Kong chili. It's the best around. First City Sunrise is a homeless outreach in Vincennes. We're just helping the homeless in Vincennes. We have a 16-bed facility that offers the emergency needs of local people.
One of those attending the Great Bowls of Fire Chili Cook-Off and showing support was local food entrepreneur Chris Lindweber, who came not to cook, but to taste.
Wouldn't say I like them all, but they all have their own unique characteristics, that's for sure. I narrowed down to my top 4. I haven't voted yet, but I'm down to 4. It's going to be tough from there.
And who were the winners? Best theme went to the team that cooked up some chicken chili. The taster's choice went to the Chili Amigos, while the people's choice to the Blazing Saddles, who told us that they came for no other reason than to support the United Way. As the afternoon went on, sounds of live music drifted through the square, adding rhyme to the aroma of chili and capturing what the day was all about: community coming together for a cause. While the competition filled stomachs, it also filled hearts, reminding everyone of how far small acts of generosity can go.
I cannot tell you, you don't really realize what community is really all about until you're in it every single day. You know, we all have jobs outside of here. We're all very busy. But at the United Way, we get to visit with the community daily. I just cannot believe how supportive Knox County truly is. From end to end, you know, Knox County has really come forth and helped out in anything I've asked for.
For First City Focus, I'm photojournalist Marianne McDaniel.
Now, the chili may be gone from this year's cook-off, but the cause is still cooking. To find out how you can help, visit unitedwayofknoxcounty.org. Every November 11th, Americans pause to honor military veterans for their service. And in our final focus, photojournalist Tessa Haig shares a closer look at the history behind Veterans Day.
Did you know Veterans Day hasn't always been called Veterans Day? The origins of Veterans Day date back to World War I. The war officially came to an end on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, marked by the signing of an armistice. An armistice is essentially a truce. It's an agreement made by opposing sides in a war to stop fighting. Initially, this day was observed as Armistice Day to honor the soldiers who fought in the Great War. In 1954, after World War II and the Korean War, the U.S. Congress officially changed the name from Armistice Day to Veterans Day, broadening its purpose to honor all American veterans. Veterans Day is more than just a holiday. It's a day to express gratitude and respect for those who have worn the uniform. This day reminds us of the sacrifices made by service members and their families. Communities across the country hold parades, ceremonies, and events to honor our veterans. These gatherings foster a sense of unity and remembrance, allowing people to come together to celebrate the bravery and commitment of those who served and are still serving. So how can we show our appreciation on Veterans Day? Here are a few things you can do to celebrate. You can attend a local Veterans Day program or parade. You can also volunteer or donate to organizations that help veterans. And finally, you can say thank you to a veteran you know. Remember, Veterans Day is a time to reflect on the courage and dedication of our veterans. It's an opportunity to honor all who have served, ensuring they are never forgotten. Let's continue to honor our heroes, not just today, but every day. Thanks for learning more with Vincennes PBS.
Be sure and check out our Did You Know series on YouTube for more on Veterans Day and other issues of interest. And that's all for this edition of First City Focus. For everyone here at Vincennes PBS, I'm Dave Foster. We'll see you again next week.
First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Colonial Assisted Living, Colonial is an assisted living residence, promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.